Hello, Craftin' buddies. It's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin' coming to you on Tuesday, August 19th at 11:30 p.m. So, thanks for joining me. I am waiting for my iPad to catch up with me so I can see if anybody joins me live and wants to chit chat while we craft. But I am going to do a new kit that was just released this month. Hello, Sala. Good to see you. Is it Sala or Sala? Sala is how it looks like to me. Kind of like Sally, but different. I don't know. But I used these Memories and More cards yesterday and made some really fun, just quick and easy cards. So I'm going to use this kit. I still have to put a sentiment on that one. I'm going to use this new kit and make some more quick and easy cards. Couple of quick announcements. Stampin' Up! Has their 2025 to 2027 in color products on sale for 15% off. There's a ton of stuff to shop for. The first 5, probably 6 people that order at least $35 of product from me before the end of August will receive a cloud cover full-size ink pad. Customers can't get these. They're only available to demonstrators because there's a potential color shift issue with the foam pad and the ink chemical. So I can gift them, but I can't sell them. So if you order $35 from me and you're one of the first, then I will gift you an ink pad. Tomorrow I have my coffee and a card starting at 10 o'clock at Cat's Coffee House. If you're local to me, stop on by. We'll make some birthday cards and gift tags. Yes, more like Sally. Okay. I should learn to write the phonetics or whatever they're called. Yes, phonetics. That's how I learned it, was phonics. So yeah, phonetics. So anyway, if you're local to me, stop on by. We'll make some fun cards. And then Stampin' Up! Announced today some big changes. Sally, are you a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, general crafter, scrapbooker? What's your forte? You may have seen this announcement. This is actually a sneak peek of an online exclusive that Stampin' Up! Is going to be releasing in November. And this is not distorted. They are changing the packaging. All right. So no longer are we going to receive our stamp sets in those like CD cases. Excuse me. We are going to be getting them in the same kind of folder as we currently get our dies. So they will be a little bit bigger probably than like this, but the stamps are going to be, they're going to be, you're from Finland? Oh my goodness, I had no idea. I have my heritage is from Sweden. So that's kind of cool. So welcome from so far away. I love it. You have 0 Stampin' Up! Products in your stash. Well, you need to find somebody in your region and start doing some, or just use these ideas and use what you have, right? The kit, you can order from Stampin' Up! If you have somebody in your market. And I'm not sure exactly where your market would be, if you can order from somebody over there or not. So anyway, you can see some fun stuff. But anyway, Stampin' Up! Is changing the packaging. They're going to be longer. The stamp sets and the dies are going to come in the same size package. So they'll be able to store easier. They're going to take a lot less room, which is going to be a godsend to my craft room. So this is the sneak peek. This is a photopolymer stamp set. And that's another announcement. They are no longer going to have the red rubber stamps. So no more clings. And that'll become effective with the November release of products. those from that point forward will be all photopolymer except for anything that is already existing. I think the closest one is in Germany. Yeah, and I don't know what their rules are over there as far as selling. So I know for us, the United States, we can't sell to other countries, but I don't know what that market over there, what their rules are. So anyway, here's what, hopefully you can see that pretty well. They're just going to be really slimline. And Stampin' Up! Is actually going to sell these cases as a 10-pack. I have no idea what the price is going to be, but these are great for storing extra bits and pieces and all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of cool. And then with that package, the ones we have now can be a little tricky. Whoops, let me find one. They can be a little tricky because there's this tab on them that has to tuck into a slot. And some people struggle with them. I know I struggled when they first came out. But there's just going to be this triangular tab that's just going to go right in a slot. I'm really excited about that. And then we have a new catalog starting. We can't look on the inside. I'm not allowed to show it yet. But September 3rd, we'll be playing with more things. So let me just pull out this kit. I needed something quick and easy because I have a class tomorrow. And in typical late night Lori fashion, I do not have all of my things together. So I will be finishing up that. But I'm going to do this birthday fancy kit. So this has 12 cards, and the instructions show basically like all different cards, but there's 3 different card bases. So you get to make 4 cards of each of the 3 card bases. So the first thing I usually do is cut things out, or punch them out rather, because they're already cut out. But I wanted to show you these card bases. These would make for some fun alternative cards, which I may do with a second kit. But if you slice down here, then you have basically 2 card bases, and you can at least double your cards. So there's those gold flecks. This is probably cloud cover with a little polka dot sort of thing. There's some tags here. I'll just punch a couple of these out. I'm not sure what card I'm going to start with. Yeah, you got to have some random stuff, right? And I kind of fly by the seat of my pants a lot of the times and just let creativity happen. And if it works out good, great. And if it doesn't, it's only paper. That's the way I look at it. All right, so, oh yeah, import taxes, I suppose, would be a nightmare. Excuse me. But you could use a lot of these ideas, I imagine, to do your own thing. So do you, I might have missed it, I'm trying to watch the comments. You're just a random crafty girl, so you do pretty much whatever the spirit moves you to do at the time? 3D things mostly, or paper crafting as a rule? My mother used to do a lot of, I know, they are too pretty to waste on the waist. I know, I feel the same way. But I think Stampin' Up! Does that on purpose so that we can actually make them go further if we want to. There's a lot of people that do a lot of fancy things. So with the kits, if you're not familiar with them, and Sally, you probably don't really care because you can't get them. But you get a stamp set and an ink spot. The ink spot is different every month in a year, so you'll end up with 12 different colors. I like to use my big full-size pad just because it's a little easier for me to manage. And you get all of the die cuts that you need. You get the adhesive that you need. If it's a stamping set, you also get a block. It's a thin block, but it's the size of our normal, a normal block. So you do mostly cards and journals. Okay. I've been dabbling with scrapbooking stuff, which has turned out to be pretty fun, actually. and not always from kits. But my mother used to always she used to have this Craft of the Month club, and they would send just random stuff. Sometimes it was, styrofoam balls that you made snowmen out of, and just all kinds of different things. So I think I get my craftiness from her. So I'm just trying to cut all of these out or punch them out. They are going to, I think, make basically 12 different cards. And I'm probably not going to glue them all together. I'll lay a couple of them out so we can see how they look. And then I need to try to scoot. Well, I'm glad you like the ideas, because that's, to me, that's the important part, is just sharing ideas, I like to see what other people are making too. And these kits are nice. I probably should have not picked this one because there's a lot of little pieces for these cakes, but that's just because there's so many choices. There's some teacups here. But I usually like to punch out all of my pieces first, and then just kind of do assembly line. Now what I'm doing here is, this is actually 2 sheets. So I punched them out at the same time because they're die cut really well. As long as they're not super intricate, it's easy to punch them out together. Yeah, any card can be used as a sketch, whether it's for a card or a scrapbook layout even. And Stampin' Up! Has actually started putting some of those in the catalogs now. And it started last year, and their intention is to continue that. So some of the sketches are tags, some of them are scrapbook or memory keeping layouts, and some of them are card layouts, and really they are quite interchangeable. And these I'm going to keep together because I'm not sure. There's a frame here and an inside piece that I'm sure we're going to use both of those. Oops, it's kind of separated here. So I think I have all of my pieces done. And then aside from all of the card bases, you also get all the adhesives you need. So we've got a roll of tear and tape. It's not a full roll, but there's a lot on here. You get your either your glue dots or dimensionals and dimensionals. So this has a big sheet of the full-size dimensionals. And then you get coordinating envelopes too. So there's enough for those for all of the cards. Okay. I'm trying to keep my debris to a minimum. So this is the block I was telling you about. And the blocks are thinner. You can see it's thin, about half as thick as the regular ones, but it's the same size. So it'll fit all of the stamps that you would get in a kit. And then I just hang on to them. So if I have a new stamper or somebody who gets a paper pumpkin kit from me that maybe doesn't have a block, I share those. All right, so let me grab my instructions, because on the back of the instructions it shows everything you get. So there's a whole lot of stuff in here. And then there's also QR codes on here. So if you're a beginner stamper, there's a QR code that they'll show you some of the basics. And then the detailed instructions for this particular kit can be found by scanning that QR code. So let's just go inside. When we start looking at our instructions, it tells you, let's look at this page first, because this has the 3 different cards and the elements that you'll use. And it tells you even the adhesives that you need for each layer. Like this one, I'll need dimensionals because that's a hexagon. I'll need the dots, which is the glue dots, and I'll need the tear and tape. For this one, I just need the dimensionals and the glue dots. This, I need all three again. So as we look at card number 1, I am going to go ahead and find this one. The base is this speckled one, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this down right away because I can put this on another white card and still have this really pretty base as an extra. All right, so we are going to do, if we look at this, it shows us to do the happiest birthday sentiment. Oh, that is so cool. So you're like a real artist. That's impressive. I am doing a glass blowing class in October, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've done glass fusing, and I like to crochet. I used to knit, but I haven't done that for years, so I've kind of forgotten how. Sewing and weaving, that's really cool. Of course, you did paper because, you know, learning how to craft with what you were crafting wasn't enough. You needed to add something new. That's what I think. You just needed to expand your horizons. That's fun though. All right, so I put a little bit of StazOn, or I'm sorry, Versamark on my photopolymer stamps to kind of help the ink stick. And I like a little cushion. So there's always this chipboard piece inside the kits. And I can use that, or I can use my Pearson mat, which is a foam, like a 1/4 inch thick mat. But I've got this here, so I'm just going to use this. And I'm going to make sure I get, hopefully, enough ink on here. And the instructions are having me put this kind of off to the right. And I'm just going to hold that on there because I want the ink to soak into the paper. So yeah, I am excited about the glass blowing. I've not done that before, and this particular class sells out really fast. And it was hard for me to find an open class date, actually. So I took what I could get, and we will be making a pumpkin. So it's about that big, and so the body of the pumpkin will be one color, and there'll be leaves and the stem, which you can make really curly-Q. That'll be a different color. So I'm really looking forward to learning that. I love Chihuly. If you're familiar with that artist, you do glass work, so I imagine you know who that is. I'm going to go ahead and glue. I'm not. I'm going to take this. And let's just see. Wants me to put tear and tape on the back of that piece. So these instructions tell me what to put on each piece. So this doily kind of piece just needs to be flat. And I think what I could do, the base could almost, I'm going to cut this down to a card front size because I think it'll work all right. So I'm going to take off the white part so that I don't lose any of those gold dots. And we'll do 5 1/4 by 4. So then I'll decide what color base I want to put it on. I mean, I might put it on this. This is probably Strawberry Slush. So my instructions just have me putting it over here. And it doesn't have to be anywhere in particular. The sentiment, I'm going to put another piece of tear and tape on. So you did glasswork for the course. Okay, so relatively short, but probably intense or a lot of different techniques packed into that short amount of time. All right, so this is going to be a little long, so I'm just going to trim that off. Yeah, I don't know how many people are in that class. I know they do more than one or two because friends of mine have done the class. And I thought, oh, those are just gorgeous. So I know they do at least a couple people. So this is going to go here. We want, I'm looking for one with a yellow base. I'm not seeing one with the yellow base. Oh, maybe it's the gold one. There we go. So one with the gold base. So that'll go here. This one's going to go here. And then it's going to add some of these other little things here. So let's go ahead. These instructions tell me which ones are going to do glue dots and which ones are going to be dimensionals. So this one is just glue dots because it's just easier for me here. Oh, Tiffany style with melting cool. I imagine that was some fun stuff. I've done the glass fusing a few times, which is fun, you know, but I really would like to do the glass blowing. All right, so this can just go here. And then this piece it shows with just the tear and tape also, or the glue dots rather. So I'm just going to use my glue on that as well. Oops. The glue does give me a little bit of wiggle room, so if it's not quite where I want it, I can move it. This one's going to have some dimensionals. So, you know, a card like this, if you found like sheets of paper that have just a bunch of cakes on them and fussy cut them, unless you have like some kind of Cricut or a scan and cut machine, you could make something very similar to this just using some other patterned paper. And then we've got a little cake here. So this one's going to go with dimensionals. We've got a little, like a bonbon, that's going to go here, and a teacup. So those all get this one. Do I have the right one? Oh, there's a fourth one in here. So this one gets put on with a glue dot or glue. And it'll just go here. The teacup has a dimensional. And we'll just put this over here. So that covers up pretty much the whole base of that cake stand. And then this will be on a dimensional. My little trash can got a little far away from me. So this will be over here. And then this one looks like it also is on a dimensional. And then there's one other little piece, those little strawberries. So that'll go there. And then these little itty bitty strawberries. It says to cut a dimensional in half. So here I've got the instructions to cut it down. So I'm going to get my mini dimensionals. And I think that might even be too big. And we'll make it fit. And then I think if I go get, actually I think this color might be pretty in pink. This one here. So this just sits over here. And I think a pretty in pink card base would be good. This strawberry slush might be a little bright, but I'll go grab one of each. Oh, and I needed strawberry slush, but that looks kind of cute too, but not with that. So I think we'll use this one because that goes with that. So let me close up my ink. And we are going to score this at 4 1/4 because I want it landscaped. And then we'll cut at 5 1/2. Oh, that's really not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it the opposite way. I should have gone with my first instinct because I was going to score it at 5 1/2, which is what I want to do. Because I want it the long way. So 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then we'll just burnish this. And this is going to go here. And then I still have the other half of that card base to make another card. So if I did not put quite so many pieces on here, I could have saved them and easily made 2 cards out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And I think maybe I'll use my seal. I think I should be able to get that on there, all right? And I am not going to put any kind of embellishments on this because those gold dots are pretty much my embellishments. So that was fun. And I'll put a layer in here of basic white so that I can write a message in there. But I think that's pretty fun. That was pretty quick. So let's go to card number 2 and find my blue base, the blue polka dot base. I'm going to do this one just how it shows. So I think they changed the directions because, well, they mock it up on what they were doing months and months ago, but they ended up putting more spots on it than the instructions show. I kind of like it with the little dots. And it looks like we're going to use one of these frames. So I will punch these out, I guess. And again, I'm punching 2 at a time because there's 2 sheets there. All right, so that'll go there. And let's burnish this a little bit more. We're going to have a tall cake, a flat cake, and maybe some kind of lemon cake. And we are going to use one of these labels. It is a really pretty frame, and I'm glad all the little dots are punched out of it already. And we're going to do sweetest birthday wishes on this one. And I like to put my stamps on my blocks diagonally. And the reason for that is because then I'm looking at the line of words. Hello, Steph. Then I'm looking at the line of words rather than the edge of my block, and I'm less likely to get it crooked. So I find I do straighter work when I put it diagonally on there, because then I can line it up like here rather than, oh yeah, it's on my block. And then I end up going crooked. Because that's what happens to me. And then too, I like to put the ink on the stamp rather than squishing the stamp into the ink. Now I'm going to do this one without any cushion underneath, and we'll see how that one looks. So Steph, I am doing the fancy birthday kit that just released this month. All right, because I needed a quick and easy card, a couple of cards, because I have a class tomorrow and I don't have all of my things done yet. I don't have them all quite sorted out and packaged. All right, so let's just look and see. I'm actually just going to lay this out so I can do maybe one more with the other base. So these are all going to sit. This frame is going to be on here. That cake will be on there. This one kind of sits. They might all kind of sit on top of that frame a little bit. So this I need to move over so they're not overlapping. And then this one's going to be here. And that does overlap. This is designed to go here. And then we have, again, if I didn't use so many of the pieces, I would be able to make several more cards. So this I'm going to slide up just a little bit more because this is going to use a couple of these little bonbons. I think that's what they are. I do love all of the colors here, and this kit is on sale because it's got the in colors. So we've got the strawberry slush, we've got the cloud cover. This might be Timid Tiger stamped off. I'll have to look at the back to see what the colors are because I did not read those off before I started. And then we've got this little cup. Oh, I guess there's another one. All right, and then this will go there. All right, so that's our second card. I think that's all of my pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's the second card. All right. So pretty quick and easy, just putting some glue and dimensionals on those. And these envelopes I think are really pretty too because I don't like naked envelopes, but it'll have those gold splatters on the flap, but then there's also some that's carried over to the front. So I really like those. I think that's a nice touch. So let me look at these instructions and see what the colors are. The colors are Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, the Lost Lagoon. This would be the stamped off, I think, probably, and that's what we're working there. Petal Pink, which is the background piece that I put on here, the Strawberry Slush, and the gold. So let's look at card number 3. That'll be the third card base, and that's this one. And I'm just going to leave this how it lies as well. I may cut them apart later. All right, so there's that. And we need Time to Celebrate. So And again, I do a little bit of Versamark on my stamp just to make it a little stickier for my ink. So I'll let that sit there for just a second. All right, so we need this piece. We need this one. And this one, it looks like, yep. And we're doing a little flower piece. This will get tucked over here, and this is going to have a little pie. And some little cookies. Macarons, I think those are. And then we're going to do our sentiment again on one of these. So there's 3 different card bases to make 4 cards with each card base. So there's a bunch of different ways to put them all together, but there's only instructions specifically for these first 3 that I'm demonstrating here. So this will go up here. And that's the 3rd card then. Just so quick and easy. So this will have glue dots or glue. The little flower piece will just be glued down, and everything else will have dimensionals to pop it up a little bit and give it some lift. Whoops, I'm messing up this one because I didn't glue them down. But you get the idea. You saw how it looked. So when we look at the front of the instructions then, you can see every single one of these cards is different. So all of these different pieces, all I have to do is kind of look at the pictures. Like this, for another card, is going to look something like this. And which cake? This one. A whole piece there. All right. So just all of these little pieces are so interchangeable, you can kind of make it do whatever you want. And this one basically just has that one piece and a sentiment. So there's another one. All right. So just, it's all kind of like mix and match stuff, kind of like the cards I did last night, where you piece them together with what looks good for you. So that is all I have for tonight, ladies. So now I'm going to spend a little bit of time and I'm going to wrap up the stuff that I need for my class for tomorrow. Thank you so much for popping in. Sorry it's such a short one and not super creative because I just used the kit. But when you need stuff in a hurry and you need it just quick and easy, I mean, this would be a great one for me to do with my guest stamper, Riley, because I know she would enjoy putting all of these pieces together and creating all these cards. So a bunch of different ideas. And, you know, when I do some of my alternates, I'll try to do like maybe an easel card or something where, you know, you can set it up and some of these things will be lifted off the page. We'll see how that goes. So I'll post some pictures, not tonight, on my Facebook page, probably tomorrow after my class. I'll start working on some more of this and get it wrapped up. And if you have some cards that you've either made with this kit or inspired by this kit, if you've got some DSP or something, Sala, and you want to put something together, go over to my Facebook page, which is also Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, and add a picture in the comments. I love to see what everybody's doing. And it's, to me, we talked about this already, Sala, that it's all about sharing the creativity, right? So until next time, happy stamping, and thanks for stopping by.